What's up, Pisces? Welcome to your February 2021 general reading. This is going to be for you Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, but of course it cannot and will not resonate with all of you guys, so definitely check out your other placements. Pisces, for you guys this month, it feels a little, I'm not gonna lie, it feels a little all over the place. I am gonna be clarifying some cards to get a little bit more clarity. One thing I will say is we are having a Mercury retrograde this month. We're actually in Mercury retrograde right now. I do think for a lot of you guys that has a lot to do with kind of the confusion you may be feeling. Mercury retrograde has a way of flipping things kind of on its head. So let's say if you're more of an emotional or intuitive guided person, thinking person, then Mercury retrograde will kind of have you more intellectual and more logical and pragmatic. It just kind of flips the perspective, which can be kind of a lot for a lot of people. You guys being a super spiritual sign, a super watery, intuitive, naturally intuitive people, I feel like this month you're trying to solve a lot of your problems, or like, I don't want to say problems, but I feel like you guys are trying to get down to the nitty gritty of a lot of things, but you are leaving out some of the best parts of you that actually is needed in order to do so. Now, I'm not going to say that thinking about things from a more logical or pragmatic mind frame is not good. I think it's great. I think there needs to be a balance with that though, because it feels like you guys are a little bit of fish out of water this month. The energies are a little all over the place, so I definitely will clarify things. Now, for you guys, you are dealing with 12th house energy. 12th house energy is connected to Pisces. You guys are 12th house energy, but it is difficult. It is difficult for people who are not, right? Because it is so deep. It's one of those things like, look, girl, if you ain't ready to swim in these waters, you better turn around and go to the kiddie pool. You know, it's about spirituality. It's about God, enlightenment, karma, your undoing, dreams. It's a very, very deep, watery place to be. And so that's where you guys are in this month. There's also a lot of focus in terms of relationships for you guys with that full moon that's going to be happening later on in the month on the 27th. It's going to be a full moon in Virgo, but by the time we get to the 27th of this month, we will be in your sign. So it kind of has that Pisces splash on it, which makes it more emotional, right? So just keep in mind with that. With you guys, since it is tapping into your 7th house, it's going to have a lot to do with your relationships. I think for some of you guys, and I'm going to clarify these cards to get a better idea, but some of you guys, there seems to be some back and forth as it pertains to your relationships. I feel like some of you guys have someone in front of you who's like a really good catch or a really good person. Like you can see their value, you can see how you guys are a match, but there's still some type of battle with that, like mental back and forth with that. Now you guys have the King and Queen of Cups, which I love. And I will say I did Scorpio's reading. King and Queen also showed up in their read. So if you are dealing with a Scorpio, have heavy Scorpio placements, it might be helpful to look at their reading. But I love when I see a couple in the same suit pop up in a read, because if we are talking about relationship matters, this is a very dynamic relationship in whatever form it is. So if it's Pentacles, like there's a lot of security there, a lot of, very down to earth, a lot of stability. If we're talking Swords, maybe it's a very, a couple that's able to really bounce some really like high level ideas off of each other, and they're, very intellectually stimulated, and they bring different perspective to one another. You guys are Queen of Cups and King of Cups, which cups is your suit. So it's all connected to the emotional, right? It's the water. But it's very much like this is a very emotionally intelligent, beautiful relationship. For some of you guys, I almost get the feeling that you might be used to dealing with volatile relationships. And so almost like when you're used to dysfunction, something great can be intimidating. And something great, you can look at it in the sense of like, well, when is the other shoe gonna fall? Maybe you don't believe it. So that's just what I'm feeling now. Of course, this isn't going to be the message for everybody. I'm going to clarify, but it's very interesting. Now, you guys have the Knight of Pentacles, which is the unseen energy here. For a lot of you guys, this is about taking this month very slow, being very patient with yourself. Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. He is slow as hell. So if there's something that you've been trying to get off the ground, move forward on, this can be quite a frustrating energy if it's not moving fast enough. But it's the most reliable knight. This is the knight who, you know, this is the person who buys their furniture after looking at the reviews and like taking measurements of their space to make sure that it can fit. This is the friend of the group that like plans all the activities when you take trips. This is like the guy with the spreadsheets and all the shit. Like this is the square, but we love it, right? A really, really good energy. So with this, especially Mercury being in retrograde, I want you guys to really be mindful of the details of everything. I want you to be mindful that you are reading fine print if you're signing any contracts. I want you to really take it slow. Mercury retrograde isn't so much a time about action, physical action. It's more about revising and revisiting and reviewing what we've already gone through so that we can kind of push forward in a better way, right? Now, for some of you guys, this indicates you guys moving slow, maybe after coming over a period of healing. We do have the Four of Swords, which is right underneath that, right? Four of Swords is, you know, she comes after the Three of Swords, which is about heartbreak and disappointment, maybe lies or betrayal. This is about the healing that you get after all that. This is the healing. This is the spiritual awakening. This is about taking a, you know, relaxing, taking a breath, maybe isolating yourself in order to, you know, heal and meditate. And then, you know, you guys coming out of that moving slowly. I'm not mad at it. Now, what's interesting is you guys open up the month at the Two of Swords, Emperor, and Queen of Cups. So, okay, some of you guys might be dealing with the Aries, right? Maybe there's an air sign in your space, right? What is that? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Maybe a fellow water. That could all be true. What's interesting is Two of Swords, you opening up the read, this lets me know that you guys are in a place where nothing is going to progress forward unless you make a decision. Now, it's interesting because, you know, as far as Mercury retrograde goes, people say don't make decisions, don't sign contracts. And yes, if something brand new is presented to you, it might not be the best idea to move forward during a Mercury retrograde if you can help it, just because during Mercury retrogrades, things have this tendency to not stick. But when we see a Two of Swords, this lets me know that somebody's just been sitting and waiting to make a damn decision, right? This is the fork in the road. This is like, okay, girl, here's the dead end here. Either you're going to go right or you're going to go left, period, right? This means that you guys have been waiting on making a decision. And the factor that you may need is the heart, is the intuition. You know, you guys even getting the King of Cups and Queen of Cups is letting me know that you guys need to be trusting your intuition more. For some reason, it feels like that may be a little bit blocked. Again, Mercury retrograde. You guys might be a little bit more in your logical mind, so it's kind of hard to maneuver through the intuition right now, but it's necessary. And I say that because Two of Swords, look, homegirl is blindfolded. She also has her heart crossed, right? So she's not open. She's not open emotionally. And this to me, it indicates that this may be a decision that requires you to be emotionally open. Look, her back is turned to the water. Water is emotion. So it's like, this is someone who's trying to make a decision using nothing but logic. And maybe for you guys, maybe this month, there needs to be a little bit more balance of both, because to me, it feels like this is something that can't just be made based on what makes sense logically. Now you got the Star card here. In terms of relationships, or even this Two of Swords, this could also indicate someone who is needing to let go of something, right? Like, if we're going back to that Knight of Pentacles, if we're going back to that Four of Swords, about that healing, right, that comes after a Three of Swords, heartbreak or something, this could be about someone who's refusing to move forward, even though the energy is here for you. The Star card is all about wish fulfillment. It's about wishes coming true. It's about hope and healing. It's about being seen, right? It's connected to Aquarius energy. So what I will say is, you may be getting in the way of certain things that you want, and it's based on you holding out on a decision. And I say that too because I want you to be careful this month, because you actually in the reading with Eight of Swords. I'm going to see if we get some more clues of how we can kind of get out of that. But it makes sense to me how a Two of Swords could easily, you know, morph into an Eight of Swords if we're just sitting here collecting swords, sitting here waiting on stuff. So whatever this is, some of you guys have come into the month really needing to get clear on what direction you're going, whether we're talking about movement, job, relationship, really needing to get clear, really needing to sit down and be in charge of your own healing. Because if you don't, this is where you're going to end up. Now, this isn't this isn't an impossible place to be in, or like a completely miserable place. I mean, it is kind of miserable. I mean, she's by herself, bound, and she's hit the point of analysis paralysis, but she has the power. She's only here because she stuck herself here. She's only here because she wasted so much time trying to avoid the inevitable that now she stacked up all these swords. And now she's just so confused, when if she would have made a decision long ago, Two of Swords, this wouldn't have even happened. But now that she's here, she can easily get herself out of it, right? There's nothing binding her here. There's nothing holding her to these swords. There's nothing holding her in this position except for her. So if there's been something that you guys have been sitting on, Pisces, it would be really helpful for you to focus on that before the full moon for you guys come, because I feel like that can just put you in an even more confusing place, right? You got the Emperor next. Now, Emperor is connected to Aries energy. Of course, you could be dealing with an Aries. It also is the father of the zodiac, right? This is daddy. This could also be a boss, right? You got the Nine of Swords here clarifying this Emperor. Some of you guys, this could be a past person. This could be just someone who's really on your mind. This could be someone who you feel like makes life a little bit harder for you right now, right? The Emperor is the authority. The Emperor is the beginning and end of law, right? That, like, whatever the Emperor says goes. King of Kings. But on a flip, on a bad side, the Emperor can be more like dictatorship energy. So maybe there's someone around you that you feel like has a certain type of power over you, a certain type of authority over you, and it's not healthy for you, because Nine of Swords is a really difficult energy to sit in. This is someone who can't eat, can't sleep, maybe having nightmares, right? You guys also may be getting intuitive hits on how to overcome this particular person or this challenge that's in front of you. I want you guys to know you actually have more power than you think, right? It almost feels like this could be even a situation that now, like putting it off for so long, it has now compounded and built up to be like this horrible monster when it could have been so simple before. There's definitely communication that needs to happen. Now, interesting is, communication can be a bit wonky during Mercury retrogrades. But what I do love being in Aquarius season, what this gives us all kind of collectively the gift of, is to have the ability to look at things from a different perspective and to kind of think outside the box in terms of how to solve problems. So maybe your go-to would be a certain way of solving this, but maybe you discover that if you approach whatever this is for you, right, general, if you approach it in a different type of way, maybe it won't be so scary. Maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe that person won't seem so intimidating to you anymore, okay? But one thing I do know is you can't be discounting your intuition this month. You absolutely need it, and it's absolutely here for you. Don't overthink. Feel and think, right? You've got the World card, which is clarifying this Queen of Cups. I love the World card. This is the ending of a cycle, a major cycle. This is the last card in the major arcana, honey. This is about leveling up. So I actually do I think for a lot of you guys, you can gain a lot of good perspective this month, and you can kind of overcome this hump. It feels like this could be an issue for some of you guys that's like built itself up so much, but really when you get down to it, it wasn't as bad as you think, you know? Not as bad as you think. Definitely be trusting your intuition, and definitely be allowing yourself the time and the space to be vulnerable. I feel like you guys are going to be a lot more vulnerable at the beginning of the month. But I do think that things will be okay. I want you to be really proud of yourself. I don't think, Pisces, you give yourself enough credit. The World card really, it leaves us with the impression that you've overcome something major. It's something to really be proud of. So give yourself credit. And for some of you guys, this has a lot to do with healing from a past relationship, or getting out of some toxic type of relationship with your father, your boss, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that, be proud of that, because it wasn't easy for you. Now, in your environment, you have King of Cups. Yes. So, okay, maybe a possibility for some newness coming in for you guys, which is really, really beautiful. But even then, you have to ask yourself, if a new person came into your life right now, would you be ready for them? If a new person who had all the things that you wanted, showed up exactly how, you picture them showing up in your daily life, they give you all the things, are you in a place to where you can match this? Right? Are you in a place where you can attract that? Now, we've got the Five of Pentacles clarifying King of Cups. Some of you guys might be dealing with someone who, like, maybe having some financial issues. Maybe like finances maybe aren't their thing, but they're really, really loving, really emotional, all that type of thing. I say that because Five of Pentacles is a card of poverty. It's a card of feeling left out. It's a card of feeling like you don't have enough. And maybe this is the thing. Maybe you guys are dealing with someone who is emotional in the sense of, what I'm seeing actually. Some of you guys might have been dealing with someone who kind of emotionally manipulative, because this is the thing about the King of Cups. He's the most mature of his suit, right? So even though, like, okay, so like an evolved King of Cups, they aren't one to emotionally manipulate. They still can, right? They still can, and they're damn good at it. They're the masters, right? This is someone who knows how to kind of use it as a weapon, weaponizing their tears or something of the sort. And this might have been what you guys are experiencing or have experienced, and this might be the type of person or type of relationship that you guys are on the fence of trying to kind of walk away from and heal. But I feel like there's this big, like, if this is relationship driven, it feels like there's this just big tug of war back and forth. Sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes it's not. And there may be some toxic behaviors in there. It may be an issue of finance. It may be an issue of stability. You got the Seven of Wands here at the bottom of the deck right now. Seven of Wands is very much about standing your ground. So this might be a situation where you need to stand your ground. Maybe you're even dealing with people who are always trying to pull on you, need something from you. And maybe this is your time to flex and be like, no, sorry, I got it. Nine of Pentacles, and then the Seven of Wands comes out. Okay. I think that this might be a thing that's around money for a lot of you guys. It might be around finances for a lot of you guys. Maybe someone feels like, or you feel like someone is trying to take from you. But I think it's better for you guys to just get it out and say that rather than holding it in or avoiding it altogether, because you're not actually fixing the problem. Okay? The Eight of Swords has the Six of Wands. I love this. I do think you guys are going to have a victory in terms of getting over this hump this month. It's going to be baby steps, but you guys have to make a decision. You guys have to make a decision to want better. You guys have to make a decision to want to be happy. You guys have to make a decision to fix this. Otherwise, you will be here, right? This is how you start out Two of Swords. You will compound Eight of Swords if you don't watch it, if you aren't sticking up for yourself. But I do feel like a lot of you guys will be with this victory card of the Six of Wands. Now, Oracle card, you got feast, slow down and celebrate yourself. I believe Cancer got this as well. And this is going back to Pisces, you needing to give yourself more credit than you do. You're amazing. You've done so much. You'll continue to do even more. Give yourself the credit. Give yourself the roses. You've also got look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. So some of you guys, especially if you're feeling very vulnerable, knowing that you're stronger than this moment, knowing that you can withstand it, and looking to yourself instead of other people for your strength. Everything that you need is right there within you. And the more you love yourself, the more you attract the love that you want for you. You also got, instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good for all. So instead of being dead set on, ooh, I want to be with Joe or Michael or whatever, praying that you get what you need, you know? The next card you have is I surrender to a power greater than me. I love it. It's about surrendering to the moment, right? And knowing that you're not alone. And then your last card you have is exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. The key to manifesting quickly is to have very high energy levels, and the easiest way to increase them is through physical exercise. Choose a fun and meaningful activity so that you look forward to exercising and it becomes its own reward. So getting up, getting moving, I think this will help you mind, body, and soul. Tony Robbins says all the time the quickest way to change emotion is through motion. So if you are feeling a little bit stagnant, if you are feeling like you're just really tired, believe it or not, moving your body, going on walks, things like that will help, not only with making you feel better, but it'll help with your manifestation abilities. So I hope that this reading was helpful for you guys. I love you so much, Pisces. I'm wishing you all the best. I can't wait to get up with you in your season. And I love you. I'll talk to you later. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy February. Happy Black History Month. Happy all the things. Bye.